The Arizona Cardinals started off last season hot with a record of 6-3, just to collapse at the end of the year and miss the playoffs. Talk about depressing. But the Cardinals went out this offseason and completely turned their roster around. They started off by signing J.J. Watt and trading for center Rodney Hudson, which gives us 2 elite players, but also 2 leaders on both sides of the ball. Kyler's probably ecstatic for this season because now he's not taking snaps from Mason Cole anymore, and most likely he won't have to run for his life every play. And those signings were great, but it gets even better for us. The Cardinals then signed wide receiver AJ Green to a 1-year deal, and everything I've heard about AJ Green so far from Cardinals camp has been extremely positive. And DeAndre Hopkins even said it feels like AJ Green is still in his prime. If we can get 80% of prime AJ Green, this offense is going to be unstoppable. But after we signed AJ Green, we signed probably my favorite signing in all of free agency, and that is Matt Prater. It's about time we signed a kicker who won't miss every clutch kick in the world. It's gonna feel so good not having to watch Zane Gonzalez take the field for us. He literally cost us, I think it was 2 or 3 games last season by missing game-winning or game-tying field goals. If your team signs him, I feel so sorry for you. And we also signed other key players like Malcom Butler and James Conner. This team got significantly better, but what's the ceiling for this team? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna break down every game and tell you guys how good I think this team is gonna be. But before we get started with today's video, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think the Cardinals are capable of this year. Do you think they're a Super Bowl contender? Do you think they're a fringe playoff team? Or do you just think they're gonna completely miss the playoffs? I'd love to hear from all of you, so make sure to leave a comment and let me know. But with that being said, let's get right into it. So to start off the season, the Cardinals traveled to Tennessee to play the Titans in week 1. This game is going to be must-see TV. The Cardinals have one of the most stacked front sevens in the entire NFL, and the Titans have one of the best running attacks led by Derrick Henry. They also added Julio Jones this offseason, pairing him with A.J. Brown, so it's safe to say there's basically no holes in their offense. The key to this game is going to be slowing Derrick Henry down, and in this scenario, I have them doing that and walking away with a win in week 1. Now in week 2, the Cardinals will have their first home game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings. This is Patrick Peterson's return game back to Arizona, and the Vikings could actually be nice if they stay healthy this season. I feel like the Vikings are going to be a tough game for us because they have so many weapons on offense. They have Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. It's going to be pretty difficult, just like the Tennessee game. They also get Danielle Hunter back, which is going to be huge for their defense, but honestly, I just feel like the Cardinals are the better team overall. So I have them walking away with a win in week 2 as well to make them 2-0 to start the season. In week 3, the Cardinals are back on the road again, but this time to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team is a new head coach, a new quarterback, and I honestly don't know what to expect out of them. I don't think they're going to be great this season, but they could be solid. Like, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be a decent team. But with that being said, this should also be one of Arizona's easier games this season, but it seems like those are the games we tend to lose. But in this scenario, I have them winning this one as well, and they're going to start the season 3-0. And for those of you who think I'm just being a biased Cardinals fan right now, you're going to like this part. Because in week 4, the Cardinals are still on the road, but this time we are going to be traveling to LA to play the Rams. The Cardinals always struggle against the Rams, and fun fact, during the Cliff Kingsbury era, we haven't beaten them yet. And I have this trend continuing in week 4. The Rams were already good with Jared Goff behind center, so just imagine what's going to happen when you plug Matthew Stafford into that offense. And we all know what that defense is capable of. They have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. So in week 4, I have the Cardinals taking their first loss of the season to go 3-1. And in week 5, the Cardinals play another divisional opponent, the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers were plagued with injuries last season, but if they can stay healthy, they're going to be really good again. This year, every team in the NFC West has a legit shot to make the playoffs, and soon I'm actually going to be posting a video of my NFC West predictions, so stay tuned for that. But every division game the Cardinals play this season is going to be tough, so if you want to watch good football, tune into an NFC West divisional game. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. But in this one, I do have the Cardinals losing this game to fall to a record of 3-2. Now, could you imagine if I just predicted everything right? That'd be crazy. And in week 6, the Cardinals are still on the road, but this week we play the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have one of the best offenses in the entire NFL, as long as Baker Mayfield's feeling good that day. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the backfield and have receiving threats everywhere, so there's no excuses for the Browns this season. For some reason though, when Odell's playing, Baker Mayfield plays his worst football. I never understood that. So maybe this season the Browns get worse since Odell's healthy again. I don't know. But it's always fun watching Baker versus Kyler, and this year should bring the same result. But in this one, I have the Cardinals taking the win here, and that would put us at a record of 4-2. And in week 7, the Cardinals should have one of their easiest games of the season, and it's at home too. In week 7, the Cardinals take on the Houston Texans, who will more than likely be without Deshaun Watson. This will also be JJ Watt and DeAndre Hopkins' revenge game, so expect the Cardinals to be on point. So obviously I have the Cardinals winning in a blowout fashion to advance to 5-2. Then in week 8, the Cardinals stay in the desert and play a team that made it to the NFC Championship game last season, the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is going to be on a rampage this season, and if they made the NFC Championship last season, imagine what's going to happen when he's disgruntled. They have an elite defense and the MVP on their team. This is going to be a tough one, but I mean, the Cardinals typically own the Packers in the playoffs. But unfortunately for us, this isn't the playoffs, and I think we're going to fall short here in this game. That would put us to a total record of 5-3 through 8 weeks. And in week 9, the Cardinals play the San Francisco 49ers for the second and final time of the regular season. I already said it, but this team back at full strength is going to be tough. I had the Cardinals losing the first matchup, but this time, I have the Cardinals coming out on top to advance to 6-3. In week 10, the Cardinals go back home to play a team that always seems to have our number for some reason, the Carolina Panthers. For some reason, the Cardinals always struggle against Carolina. I don't get it. Whether it's in the playoffs, the regular season, it doesn't matter. The Cardinals always seem to lose to them, and I don't think this season's going to be any different. I have the Cardinals losing here as well, which would drop us to a record of 6-4. That's not the worst record, but it's not great. And in week 11, the Cardinals hit the road one final time before the bye week to play the Seattle Seahawks. Again, every division game is going to be must-see TV, so make sure you are tuning into these games. We always split the series with Seattle every single year, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do it again. The Cardinals always seem to win in Seattle, and the Seahawks always seem to beat us in Arizona. It's another weird concept. You think it would be the other way around? But nope. This will be a good game though, and you know how I normally said we win on the road? I think this year's going to be different, and I have Seattle taking the win in this one. This would drop us to a record of 6-5. I know, Cardinals fans, you guys are probably mad at me right now at this point in time, but trust me, keep watching, it gets better. Remember, I'm a Cardinals fan too, so it hurts me to put them at 6-5, but I'm not being biased. In week 13, the Cardinals will be on the road once again, but now we play the Bears. Okay, that was kind of cringy, I'm not gonna lie.
Correct!
But I've always said the Bears are a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender, so if they can get that this season in Andy Dalton or Justin Fields, expect big things out of this team. But I'm honestly not sure if they're gonna get it, and I have the Cardinals taking the win here to advance to 7-5 on the season. Now heading into week 14, we have another difficult game as the Cardinals head back to the desert to play the Rams for the second and final time. Like I said earlier, we haven't beaten the Rams under Cliff, but in this week, I have things changing. I had us losing the first matchup against the Rams, but in week 14, I have the Cardinals bouncing back to even the series at 1-1. With this win, that would put the Cardinals at a record of 8-5. In week 15, they hit the road once again, but this week they play the Detroit Lions. The Lions are going through a rebuild with a new head coach, so this should be an easy win for us, and I think it will be. I think the Cardinals will blow them out and advance to 9-5, making that 3 wins in a row. Enough said. And in week 16, this game is going to take place on Christmas Day, and we play the Indianapolis Colts. What's better than watching your favorite team play football on Christmas? Getting the win, of course. The Colts season pretty much falls on the shoulders of Carson Wentz and if he can stay healthy or not. I mean, he already got hurt and the season hasn't even started yet, so I can't guarantee he plays this game. And for that, I have us taking the win, which would make it 4 straight in a row to advance us to a record of 10-5. Now, could you imagine Carson Wentz ends up on IR and Phillip Rivers comes back, takes his spot, and wins a Super Bowl? That would be crazy. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but I'm just throwing things out there. And for week 17, the Cardinals head to Dallas and they'll play the Dallas Cowboys. I honestly feel like the Cardinals are a better team, but I think the Cowboys are going to win this one. Dallas could have one of the best offenses this season, and for that, I have this beating us and dropping us to 10-6. And for the final game of the regular season, the Cardinals head home for one final time to play the division-rivaled Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a tough one, but I think the Cardinals win and end the season strong to finish with a record of 11-6. And that record should be good enough to make the playoffs, and if it is, this team is a serious threat to win the Super Bowl. I honestly believe we have one of the most talented rosters in the NFL and have a legit chance to win it all. And guys, Cardinals football is back this Friday, and I can't wait. This team has crazy potential, and I can't wait to see what they can do. But that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post NFL and NBA content, so if you're a fan of either of those or both of those, this is the perfect channel for you. And remember, let me know down in the comment section below what record you guys think the Cardinals are going to finish with and why. But like I said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.